Okay, so are you ready to dive into this? We're tackling the Joker today. And we're not just talking about, like, a Joker. We're going deep on how different versions of him, across movies and comics, help us understand Batman.
Yeah, it's really interesting how the Joker, almost every time, he's like this funhouse mirror,
Right.
reflecting back parts of Batman, but all twisted.
Exactly. And we've got a ton of material to work with, movie scripts, comic panels, the whole shebang.
So much Joker to unpack.
Right. So, to kick things off, let's hit 1989's Batman. I gotta say, Nicholson's Joker, he's super campy, but there's still something kind of deep going on there with Batman.
It's really, that Joker, he loves the spectacle. He's almost like What If Batman, but he went completely the wrong way.
Like a dark parody, yeah.
Totally.
Remember when he's in the helicopter going, I'm going to the festival, I'm going to kill 1,000 people an hour until you do. Like, come on, it's so extra.
But see, that's the thing. Because he's so over the top, it makes Batman have to be that much more serious.
Yeah, you're right. It's like the Joker's all about chaos, so Batman's got to be like this unmovable force of order.
Makes sense, right?
Totally. And even how they die. Joker falls, still laughing like a maniac. Batman's all controlled, using his grapple. They're visually different, too.
You nailed it. Visual storytelling, right there. It's their whole core conflict, order and chaos. Though, it does make you think, are they really that different underneath? Both of them, they're driven, obsessed almost. Just one's about order, the other about breaking it all down.
Good point. Okay, but now let's jump to a totally different Joker. 2019's Joker. Now we're seeing Arthur Fleck, right? This is before he's the Joker, and it's like watching someone fall apart.
And that movie, it really asks you, does Gotham just create its own villains? Like, was the Joker inevitable because of how messed up that city is?
It's heavy stuff. Arthur, he's getting beaten down, literally, but also by the system, by mental illness. You see him trying to take care of his mom. She's sick. It's tragic, but also scary how he changes.
Right, and then you gotta think, if Gotham made the Joker, then what does that say about Batman? Is he just trying to hold back this, like, wave of darkness that's gonna keep coming no matter what?
I never thought about it that way. There's this one detail that sticks with me. Right before he goes on Murray Franklin's show, Arthur catches his reflection in the elevator, and it's distorted, creepy. It's like the Joker's already inside him, waiting to come out.
Wow, good catch. That's such a visual way of showing you the Joker, he's not just some guy. It's like this darkness that's already part of Gotham. Arthur just gives it a name and a face.
Yeah, I get that. Now let's talk Arkham Asylum. This one's wild because the Joker's not even in it. Not really, but that actually tells us a lot.
It shows you how much of an impact he has, even when he's locked up. Like, he sets the bar for how crazy Gotham can get.
Yeah, and you see it when the other inmates, they talk about him. Like when Riddler's talking to Frank, he says, "You're no Joker." It's like there's levels to this madness, and Joker's at the top.
And that line, it made me think, Batman isn't fighting just crooks. He's fighting this whole idea of chaos that Joker represents. Even when he's literally locked away, the fight's not over.
Right, and then there's that last riddle Riddler gives Frank, all about being trapped, about thinking you're free when you're not.
Ooh, yeah. It makes you wonder who's really the prisoner, right? The guys stuck in Arkham, or Batman who's tied to Gotham in this endless battle?
Good question. Okay, shifting gears now to a relationship that's, well, it's complicated. Joker and Harley Quinn in the 2016 Suicide Squad. This Joker, he's the most manipulative we've seen so far.
Yeah, the movie, it goes hard on how toxic their whole thing is. It's messed up to watch, but it shows you how Joker works, how he gets inside people's heads.
That scene where he electrocutes Harley and tells her to forget you ever met me.
Yeah.
It's rough. But then he goes and risks everything to bust her out of the squad. It's like, make up your mind, dude.
It is super contradictory, and I think that's the key to how they work. Joker, he needs to be in control to make people do what he wants. But with Harley, there's this twisted affection, almost possessiveness.
So is he actually feeling something real for her, or is it just a game to him? And if it's all fake, what does that say about Batman, who's all about real compassion and helping people? Is he fighting something that uses love as a weapon?
You're hitting something really interesting there. It makes you question what kind of hero Batman has to be to fight that.
Right, it's dark.
It is. And speaking of dark, we've got to get to the Dark Knight. Heath Ledger's Joker. He's the gold standard for chaos, for trying to break not just Batman, but everything he stands for.
He's ice cold. He doesn't care about money or power like the normal way.
Yeah.
He wants to prove that even the best people, even Harvey Dent, can snap. His line, introduce a little anarchy, upset the established order, and everything becomes chaos.
Chills, man. It gets to the heart of their fight, doesn't it? Batman believes in order and justice, and Joker wants to prove it's all fake. When he turns Dent into Two-Face, it's like he's trying to crush Batman's spirit. Show him there's no point in trying to be good.
It's so sad watching Dent go from White Knight to, like, flipping a coin to decide who lives or dies. Yeah. It's like the Joker literally infected him with chaos.
Exactly. And this film makes you wonder, is Batman actually making things better? Or is he just delaying the inevitable? Like, is Gotham just too far gone?
It's a tough thought, man. And Ledger's performance, he's so unhinged. You believe that he doesn't give a damn about anything except proving his point.
That's what makes him the perfect opposite to Batman. Batman, all about control, discipline. Joker's a hurricane, unpredictable. He makes Batman face the fact that even he can't control everything.
So you're saying maybe each Joker shows us a different way Batman can fail. The 89 Joker, he shows how being too serious makes you predictable. Arthur Fleck shows how the system itself creates the problems Batman's trying to fix.
You got it. And the Dark Knight Joker, he attacks Batman's faith in people. If even the best guy can go bad, then what's the point of fighting for good? Right.
Okay, hold on. I want to go back to Arkham Asylum for a sec. We talked about how Joker not being there, it actually makes him more present. But doesn't that also say something about how Batman works?
Oh, totally. Yeah. Joker's locked up, but his influence, it's all over the place. The other inmates, the whole vibe of the asylum.
Like he made this mental space that Batman can't get away from. Even when he's gone, the chaos is still there.
You're getting it. Batman can't just punch his way out of this. The stuff Joker represents, it's like a virus. It's built into Gotham.
And it's trippy how that comic, it never really shows you what Joker's doing.
Yeah.
It's all through what other people say, hints and stuff.
Yeah.
Makes him even creepier.
For sure. Like, he's more of a symbol than a guy. He's the unknown, the stuff you can't predict. That darkness Batman can never totally get rid of.
So basically, Arkham Asylum shows us Batman's biggest problem isn't any one bad guy. It's the fact that chaos can come from anywhere.
Exactly. It's not a job you clock out of. It's like he's always got to be on guard for whatever's going to try and mess up the order he's working so hard to build.
Now let's loop back to Joker for a minute. Arthur Fleck, he becomes this symbol, but for the people of Gotham.
Yeah.
It's not just that he goes crazy, it's that it sets everyone off.
Yeah. People wearing clown masks, trashing the city. In a messed up way, it's what Arthur wanted, right? To be noticed, to have people listen.
And that reflects back on Batman, you know? He's a symbol too, but he's in the shadows, using fear to get things done. Does this movie make you question if Batman's doing the right thing, or even if it's working?
It definitely asks, what does it even mean to be a hero? The Joker, even though he's doing awful stuff, he becomes like this rebel icon. Batman, he's the establishment, the system that's failed so many people.
So it's deeper than just good versus bad. It's like two ways of looking at the world. Joker's chaos and tearing things down, Batman's order and trying to hold things together.
Exactly. And that's why these stories still matter today, you know? Those ideas, they're always bumping up against each other.
Plus, it's all baked into Gotham itself, right? That city, it breeds darkness. And Batman and Joker, they're both born from it.
They're two sides of the same coin. You can't have one without the other.
It's like that line from The Dark Knight, when Joker says, "You complete me." They need each other, which is kind of messed up.
Symbiotic, yeah, but fueled by obsession, by both of them getting how dark Gotham really is. Neither one makes sense without the other.
So we've seen how different Jokers show us different parts of Batman, but what's the big takeaway? What does all this tell us about who Batman is at his core?
Man, that's a tough one. It's not simple. But one thing's for sure, Batman isn't just reacting to crimes. He's in this deep, philosophical fight. Each Joker makes him face a different part of that fight.
Like the 89 Joker shows him he can't be too stiff. Arthur Fleck makes him doubt the whole system he believes in.
Right. And then the Dark Knight Joker, he goes for the kill shot, trying to prove that trying to be good is pointless.
But even though these Jokers push him to the edge, they also make him who he is. Without all that chaos, would there even be a Batman? Or would he just be some rich dude with cool toys?
You're hitting it. It's the constant threat that makes him level up, makes him into the symbol Gotham needs.
And it's weird how almost every time the Joker's kind of like a messed up mirror for Batman, calling him out on using fear, on breaking the rules himself.
That's so important. Joker's like this twisted reflection showing us and Batman like, hey, your methods aren't perfect. It makes us wonder, can you really fight evil without becoming a little evil yourself?
Makes you think, how close is Batman to turning into the thing he hates? Is there a chance that fighting chaos could actually Like, consume him?
Every version of the story deals with that in a different way. Remember in The Dark Knight, Batman takes the fall for Dent's crimes so people can keep believing in the White Knight.
Well,
It's noble, but also kind of shady.
shows you, even for Batman, good and bad, it's not always black and white. Sometimes keeping things in order means doing stuff that looks a lot like what the Joker would do.
And that's the part that's both scary and fascinating about them, isn't it? They're connected, both coming from the same darkness, both trying to figure out what to do about it.
So, bottom line, is Batman a hero, vigilante, something else? Does beating Joker actually mean beating the bad stuff inside himself?
There's no easy answer. That's what makes Batman so cool, and his whole thing with Joker, it makes us ask the tough questions. It's not just good guys win. It's about the soul of Gotham, and maybe about the fight that's going on inside all of us.
That's deep.
It is.
So next time you see Batman hanging out on a gargoyle, remember Joker's creepy grin is always there too, in the back of his mind. They're stuck with each other, showing us that being a hero, it's not a one-time thing. It's a choice you got to make over and over when everything's trying to drag you down.
And that's Joker's real power, right? He doesn't just punch Batman. He punches at his ideas, at what he believes in. He makes him face the ugly truth about himself, about Gotham, about how messy good and evil really are.
And that's what makes their story stick with us. You know, it's not just action. It's about ideas, about trying to find something to believe in when the world feels like it's falling apart.
I couldn't have said it better myself. That's the magic of stories, right? Making us think, making us question, making us face how complicated things really are.
So to wrap this whole thing up, I'll leave you with this thought. If Joker is the chaos that's always out there, then Batman is us trying to make sense of it, trying to do good, even when it feels impossible.
And maybe in that fight, in the back and forth between those two, that's where we find out what it really means to be a hero. Makes you think about what kind of hero you gotta be to fight that kind of messed up love.
Right. Like, is Batman trying to save Harley from herself, but also save Gotham from, I don't know, like a love that could destroy it?
It's a wild thought. And speaking of wild, we gotta talk about the OG, the benchmark. Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight. That Joker, he's chaos personified. He's not out to break just Batman, but the whole idea of what's good, what's right.
He's terrifying. Like normal villains, they want money, power, the usual stuff. This guy, he wants to prove that everyone, even the best of us, can break. Introduce a little anarchy, upset the established order, and everything becomes chaos. That line gives me goosebumps every time.
It cuts deep, doesn't it? Batman's whole thing is order, believing in justice. Joker's saying it's all BS, turning Harvey Dent into Two-Face. That was about breaking Batman, showing him that trying to be good is pointless.
Watching Dent go from like Gotham's golden boy to this coin-flipping, vengeful mess, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Like the Joker actually infected him with his chaos.
It's messed up, but brilliant. That movie makes you ask, what if Batman's not winning? What if he's just putting a Band-Aid on a gaping wound?
Man, that's bleak. Ledger just sells it so well. You believe that he doesn't care about anything except proving his point.
And that's what makes him the perfect opposite of Batman. Control versus like a force of nature. He shows Batman there are some things you just can't plan for, can't control.
So each Joker, they're like different tests for Batman, right?
Yeah.
The 89 Joker, he shows how being too serious can be a weakness. Arthur Fleck shows that sometimes the system itself is the enemy.
Yeah. And Dark Knight Joker, he's the worst. He attacks Batman's faith in humanity itself. If even the best people can fall, then what's the point of fighting at all?
Okay, hold up. I got to bring up Arkham Asylum again. We said that Joker not being there, it makes him more present. But it also says something about how Batman operates, right?
Absolutely. He's locked up, but it's like his fingerprints are all over the place, how the other inmates act, the whole atmosphere.
He's created this headspace that Batman can't escape. Physically, Joker's gone, but the chaos, that's still there.
That's it. It's not a fight that ends with a punch. The stuff Joker represents, it's like it's woven into Gotham's DNA.
And what's trippy is, that comic, it never shows you what Joker's actually doing. It's all through what other characters say, like whispers and hints. Makes me even creepier.
Totally. He's more like an idea than a person at that point. He's the unknown, the stuff that keeps you up at night. That darkness Batman can never truly erase.
So Arkham Asylum, it's showing us that the real fight isn't against one bad guy. It's against the possibility of chaos popping up anywhere.
You're getting it. It's never over. It's this constant vigilance, always trying to protect the order he's built.
Okay, back to Joker for a sec. Arthur Fleck, he becomes a symbol, but for the people of Gotham. It's not just him going crazy. It's like he starts this whole movement.
Oh yeah, people in those clown masks, tearing the
Mhm.
city apart. It's messed up, but in a way, it's what he wanted, right? To matter, to have people pay attention.
And it makes you look at Batman differently. He's a symbol too, but he's all about fear, working in the shadows.
Yeah.
Is that the movie asking if Batman's way is actually the right way?
It definitely makes you think. What does it mean to be a hero? Joker, even though he's doing horrible stuff, he represents rebellion to some people. Batman, he represents the system, the thing that's let so many people down.
It's not just good versus bad. It's like two different ways of seeing the world. Joker's breaking it all down. Batman's trying to keep it together.
And that's why these stories are so relevant. Even now, those ideas, they're always clashing in the real world, too.
And that's Gotham in a nutshell, right? It's like this breeding ground for darkness. And Batman and Joker, they both come out of it.
Two sides of the same messed up coin. You can't have one without the other.
Like in The Dark Knight, Joker tells Batman, "You complete me." They need each other, which is kind of disturbing.
It's symbiotic, but driven by this deep obsession and this understanding that both of them have about how messed up Gotham is. They only make sense together.
So we've seen how all these different Jokers, they kind of poke and prod at Batman, shows his weak spots. But like, what's the point? What does it all mean for who Batman is deep down?
Man, that's the question, isn't it? It's complicated. But I think one thing that's clear, Batman isn't just fighting crime. He's in this, struggle about ideas. And each Joker makes him deal with a different part of that.
Yeah, like the 89 Joker shows him what happens if he's too serious, too by the book. Arthur Fleck makes him question if the whole system's broken.
Right on. And then the Dark Knight Joker, he goes straight for the core, trying to prove that being good, that order, it's all a lie.
But as much as they challenge him, they also define him. It's like without all that chaos, would Batman even need to exist?
I get what you're saying. Without Joker pushing him, would he be anything more than a rich guy playing superhero? That constant threat, that's what makes him push himself, become the symbol Gotham needs.
And it's wild how almost every time Joker's like this messed up mirror for Batman, calling him out for using fear, for breaking the rules himself.
That's key, man. Joker's the twisted reflection. He's showing Batman, showing us, hey, your good deeds, they ain't always so clean. Makes you wonder, can you fight the bad guys without becoming a little bad yourself?
It makes you think, how close is Batman to just snapping, To becoming the very thing he hates? Can you fight chaos without letting it get inside you?
And each story tackles that question a little differently. Like, The Dark Knight, Batman takes the blame for Dent, so people can keep believing in the good guy. Noble, but also kind of messed up.
Shows you even for Batman, right and wrong, it gets blurry. Sometimes keeping order means doing things that look a lot like what the Joker would do.
And that's the freakiest, coolest part of how they're connected, They both came from the same darkness, and they're both trying to figure out what to do with that.
So what's the verdict? Is Batman a hero or a vigilante or something in between? If he beats Joker, does that mean he beats the bad stuff inside himself?
Man, if there was an easy answer, it wouldn't be Batman, right? That's the beauty of it, and of how he's tied to Joker. They make us ask the hard questions. It's not just about who wins the fight, it's about Gotham's soul, and maybe about the fight that's going on in all of us.
Deep stuff.
It is what it is.
Okay, so next time you see Batman all broody on a rooftop, remember Joker's creepy smiles there too, in his head. They're stuck together, showing us that being a hero, it's not a one-time thing. It's something you gotta choose. Over and over, even when everything's telling you to give up.
And that's Joker's real legacy. He doesn't just hit Batman, he hits his mind, what he believes in. Makes him face the ugly truth about himself, about Gotham, about how messy good and evil really are.
And that's why these stories, they get under our skin. It's not just about punching and explosions, it's about ideas, it's about trying to find something good to hold on to when everything's going to hell.
Couldn't have said it better. That's what stories are for, right? To make us think, to poke at the big questions, to deal with the fact that nothing's simple.
So, wrapping up this whole deep dive, here's a final thought to chew on. If Joker's the chaos that's always out there, then Batman's that part of us that keeps trying to find order, to do good, even when it feels like a losing battle.
And maybe in that struggle, in that back and forth, that's where we find out what being a hero really means.